pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
which
under
stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and for all.
Going to ask that if you're on Zoom, would you please mute yourself if you're not a member of the POA group?
Okay, welcome everybody. It's our April 2026 meeting of the EGPOA's Board of Directors. First order of business is ask Secretary to call the roll. Chris, I know you're online. Oh, it looks like Beverly is as well. So Chris, you're able to do that?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Patrick,
Here.
Alana,
Here.
Joel, Ken, Leslie.
Ken's trying to log in.
Ken is trying to log in.
Yeah, he'll be on mute.
All right. I'll mark him as present. Leslie, are you here? Mark, I see you.
Yeah.
Dan,
I'm here.
Bev,
Here,
and Alex and Sarah, I see you. We have a quorum.
All right. Turning to our board book, tab 1, approval of the March 8th, 2026 meetings. Anybody have any questions? If not, can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, recusals, abstentions? Hearing none, that passes. All right. Mr. Warner, on to the management report. It's tab 2, board members.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I gave you all a pretty extensive and comprehensive management report this month. We can start out with that. Give me just 1 second here while I pull that up. Patrick, would you mind forwarding the link to Ken? He's having trouble finding that. If you don't mind, thank you while I jump over to that. Okay, so on to our board book here. Sorry, let me just pull back to that. He's calling me.
Just tell him it's in his email.
Ken, Alana's sending it to you right now.
It's in his email.
It's in your email. I'll have her send it to your K-Coder 44 email. You can't, okay, you got it. You have this other one, right, Alana? I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
Sorry, folks, technical difficulties, 1 second here.
Thanks.
You got it. All right. One here. Okay. All right, starting out, we had the folks from the reserve advisors here that are working on our replacement reserve study here Monday, April 13th. They walked the property, they looked at all of our buildings and our assets, and they anticipate that we should have back to us sometime probably in the next 4 weeks, a reserve study draft that the board will review. And we should be reviewing that draft, and hopefully by sometime in, I'd say June 1st, we'll have something to present to the community as a reserve study. And then based on that, we will discuss the funding of our capital reserves going forward. Next up, dues collections are ahead of last year. For March, the dues collections were $78,361. For 2026, dues collections totaled $968,404, which is about $42,290 ahead of last year. Open accounts receivable right now are 1.1 million 50,000. Since January, the number declined about $114,000. That's through our collection efforts. So we're whittling away at that. As I reported last month, that's comprised mainly of about 10 accounts, which we're working on pretty actively. and I can brief the board in executive session specifically on any, specific legal actions and matters, pertaining to those. Number four, financial update. The association has 4 certificates of deposit that total about $800,000. Those are going to mature in May. It's going to yield us approximately $12,440 in interest. We've already earned about $3,448 through March in our money market accounts. It's going to bring our projected interest to about $15,888. That's already exceeding what we've conservatively budgeted for 2026, which was $15,000. Separately, we're going to have approximately $700,000 in cash on hand in the bank through our proceeds in the CDs, which we're going to mature upon. Additionally, we've started collecting special assessment number 4, which is not due until the end of June. So we're going to have approximately another $535,000 in cash on hand. Based on that, I'm going to ask the board, and I think you have a resolution here today, to allow us to purchase 2 additional CDs from Wayne Bank. Those CDs would be a 5-month term with a 3.8 APY. They would mature September 20th if we purchase them tomorrow or this week. That will yield us approximately $3,960 each for another $7,900 in income. Given our anticipated cash position of about $2 million at the end of the month of May, we'd like to have that so that way we can be in the place that we're going to be for the Davies Dam repair, the needs that we're going to see for blacktopping, that we need to complete the blacktop projects. And that'll get us where we need to be for the coming months, getting ready for summer, to pay our summer employees, and also to do those needed repairs that we have to do. So I'm going to ask the board to consider that and make a motion, or ask the board to make a motion to allow myself, and typically Alex is the other signer when we do a CD because he's local. So I'll ask for a motion to purchase those CDs if we could do that.
Okay, I'll just take a quick pause on the management report to see if anybody has any questions for Nick on the CD. This is the same thing we've done in the past. Obviously, we have 2 CDs that are maturing. Any questions for Nick? Anybody online, board members? All right, if none, I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the CDs as outlined in Nick's management report. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any recusals? Any abstentions? Hearing none, that passes. Nick?
Thank you. As the board voted last month, we voted to replace the clubhouse HVA system. That was completed. There's a little bit of minor work that has to be done on retaping the seam of the sheetrock in there. And we had to put in a new piece of panel where the hole was. But we're gonna be doing that in-house in between parties, so it doesn't look terrible in there, but we just have to fix that seam. So we did that. There was no cost overruns, no delays, and we didn't interrupt any of the party schedule up there. So that's been done. Thank you for approving that. Heat and AC is working in there great now. As you saw, the tree was removed outside here in front of the entertainium. We do have to have the stump done. They're gonna come back and do that. Just couldn't do it the day they were here because it started to downpour as they were finishing up. So that was done as well. We didn't get a chance to have our meeting on the Ken Herfield Memorial for out front here. Some of the folks were still in Florida, but I know Bob Ernst is back now, and we're gonna try to coordinate getting a meeting together here in the near term. But we did have a conversation about it in the Buildings and Grounds Committee about options for benches and those things. So I think we're getting a little bit closer, and hopefully we'll be able to report back at the next meeting.
I brought his hat in case you need it.
Okay, thanks. We did get the docks installed at both the dam and the pool, and the new docks that we purchased from Connecticut are in at the dam. If you didn't get to see them yet, they're pretty cool. Alex, I know, was over there. I don't know if Mark got a chance to see them yet. We like them a lot. We actually have an opportunity to buy more fingers for them. And I'm asking the board to consider allowing us to do so. If we did, we could actually put more slips in there. We were able to extend them out further. There are more sections available from another individual that has them used. There are 10 sections available along with another gangway. And we could purchase them for $10,000. It would allow us the opportunity to put in 6 more slips at the dam, and it would accommodate 6 more pontoon slips there. So it's one of those situations where it's an investment in our future.
And we're almost sold out now.
We have 4
Only
available
4 slips left, right?
slips community-wide. This was not a budgeted expense. It was not something we had anticipated. But these connected dock systems have a very long lifespan, and they were easy to install. They cleaned up very nice when we steam jennied them with the machine we had bought for the boat. So I'd like to ask and recommend that we purchase them.
You adding cleats?
Nick? I'm sorry.
You adding cleats? Because there's no cleats over there, right?
Cleats, when you say cleats, I'm sorry.
It's on the boat slope.
Oh, yeah, there'll be cleats, but yeah, there's
Right.
need more cleats put in. They're actually up in the shop right now.
Okay.
Leslie?
Yeah, you said slips for pontoons. Are you just going for pontoons only, or the size of it
The size of it could accommodate.
could
pontoon.
accommodate a pontoon or 2 smaller?
Yeah, it's a 9-foot wide slip. When I say pontoon, most folks are putting pontoons in, but it would be a 9-foot wide slip.
Okay,
So is there a demand for this? And at what point do we stop?
So, there could be, and folks are asking for more opportunity at the dam, which we don't have as of right now. I think this would be the last purchase for the dam for now if we did this, and I think we would hold off from there. There's not an immediate, like, we gotta go out and get these, but they go with the system we have, so it's a proprietary system.
Right.
And I think it would just be evaluated to what we have, and then it kind of finishes it off, and it kind of builds us out for, probably the next 5 or 6 years.
And then the total amount, sorry, Leslie.
it's all right, go ahead.
The total amount that we're looking to spend for this is 10?
Is 10, but it would bring our total investment for this year to 28.
Leslie?
Could you remind us the price for pontoons or smaller boats?
It's 400 now and
Okay.
200 on a small boat. And then what this did is it also took away this lottery system the standing in line or the need for a lottery. You don't have to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning. It kind of made the process a lot easier this year for folks too.
Okay,
Chris?
This might be a dumb question, but Nick, you said we currently have availability at the pool area.
Yes, sir.
Would it be possible or feasible simply to tow the free sections, detach and tow the free sections to the dam where there's more demand?
No, it's a different system altogether, Chris. The docks are a completely different system. We took the old docks from the dam and brought them to the actual pool now. So that's one system there, and then this is the new system that we purchased.
Thank you. I appreciate you clarifying that.
Of course.
I would motion to approve.
Okay.
This is a good investment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconds?
Sorry, can I ask a question? Does it put you closer than 500 feet from the dam? Because wasn't there some restriction on positioning of things, the New York State?
You mean the water intake, the water intake?
It does put us closer to the water, but it doesn't put us with any restriction for that purpose.
It's
Yeah,
like a 500-foot standoff, right?
Yes.
yes, but it wouldn't add to that. We're much further than that. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's
Okay.
okay.
All
question.
right, motion having been made and seconded, is there any other questions or debate? All right, call the question. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Me.
Any recusals?
I'm sorry, you,
I will.
okay.
Sorry, Chris?
Chris and
I'll vote no, but it doesn't change the outcome.
Gotcha.
Opposed.
Recusals or abstentions?
Dan.
Recused or abstained, Dan?
Opposed.
Opposed, got it. All right,
funded from somewhere.
yeah, you wanna,
contingency, I would assume.
Okay.
Since we didn't get to the memo part yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the final tally?
It
1,
has-
2, 3, 4,
You were
5,
3 off. I didn't have
10.
enough.
I think yes.
6 and 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Motion carries. Thanks. Sorry, a little early for math. Nick, can we carry on?
Thank you all. Audit and tax returns, I put a snapshot in there for you of the questions that came back from our auditors. We received a notification from them on the 9th, requesting information relative to the audit. Seems like pretty ministerial stuff. Ken, I don't know if you had a chance to review the list. But basically just asking for confirmations and information related to some transactions in 2025. Additionally, they asked Ken to sign an extension for the tax return for 2025 and Zach on behalf of the water company. So we sent those over. So we should be hearing something hopefully in the near term. Additionally, on the pool front, pool cover was supposed to be coming off this week coming up. Although we're looking like we're gonna have some cold weather, so maybe towards the end of the week, we'll be taking it off. We're gonna take a look at what's going on with the pool floor, which we've kind of talked about. There was a little bit of etching in the concrete going on last year, and we'll see what we will be needing to do to repair that. Belief is we might have to drain the pool, do some sanding, and then apply some type of a coating there, a gel coat or a paint, which wasn't done when the pool was installed. Additionally, we know that there is one pool pump that we have talked about, was making noise and having some rough starting at the end of last year. That replacement cost, could exceed $2,500 on that pump, just knowing what those pumps cost. If so, I might have to come back to the board because that would exceed the threshold of $2,500. Unless the board would like to just give me an authorization now that if it does exceed 2,500, I can go out and purchase a replacement. That's
What's the range?
They could, they could run about 3,500 to 4,000 sometimes, depending on if it can be repaired or replaced.
Okay.
But this is something we need, right?
It is something we would need. It's a pump
Whatever
for
it
the
takes,
pool.
it takes.
Yeah, but I don't want to get into that situation where
I got you.
it's an important item to the operation.
Maybe up to 4,500.
Making a motion?
I'm making a motion
Okay.
to go up to authorize.
If not, I could send in, maybe we do an email. Okay, if, I get a quote on the repair or replacement and
Okay.
do something like that.
Chris, you still have your hand up or was that from before?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Is there any question or debate on the authorization of $4,500 for replacement of the pump if needed, once we get in there? All right, call the question. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any recusals, any abstentions, hearing none?
Thank you. And that would come out of the pool repair and maintenance, which we have sufficient funds in, just so you're all aware. The dam repair and paving projects, we are reviewing the bid scopes on both projects. As you recall, we did go out to bid on paving last year. We went to 3 qualified contractors, so we do have a very good bid scope on that. We'll be updating that and sending that out to the 3 previous contractors, and we'll be also looking at other contractors for that. And the dam repair, we have approved plans from the DEC. And we have a prior cost estimate, albeit it is a number of years old, but we will be going out and seeking bids for the dam repair for the Davies Dam here. And hopefully have something to report back at the May meeting on costs of both projects so the board can review. Let's see, townhome mailboxes. Eddie and Jim were working on the final design with the Worksboro Post Office. And hopefully that project should be done by our next board meeting, so the folks in the townhomes will not continue to have mail issues there as well. Lastly, item 13, I think we're going to defer to executive session, which was a proposal that I had sent to the board.
I think you can characterize the proposal for the community.
Sure.
I was worried that there was a likelihood that it would potentially veer into questions about specific employees and.
Sure.
And I just wanted to steer clear of that.
Of course, last year, we had talked about, a methodology for increases related to employee salaries and how that would be determined. And, I had put together a proposal that is based on, the CPI, and I'm asking the board to review that to make it more streamlined for budgeting purposes. So that way, when we go into the budget each year, it's done through a formula and it basically just gets calculated and reviewed and included in the budget each year. And it's not a process in which that there has to be a great amount of conversation on. Make it easier for the board.
Okay, that's the end of Nick's management report, right?
That's it.
Okay, any board member questions for Nick? Okay,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
go ahead, Liz.
The dogs, back to the dogs. How long until you get them?
Now that it's been approved, we should be able to get them this week and they'll probably be installed either this week or the beginning of next.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For the pool, is there a look into for the vacuum as well? I know we talked about that.
There is that should be below the threshold.
Okay.
So that should just come out of pool repair and maintenance.
Got it.
Yep. If it exceeds it, I'll send an email though.
Okay.
Any other board member questions for Nick? All right, let's move on to our next topic, which is a financial review. Ken, if you'll present both February and March, board took no action on the February financials last month, so we said we would lay it over to this month when you're here.
Okay, business as usual. They were pretty straightforward. They were in the documents. Any questions on them?
Any board members have questions on them? February financials?
Oh, not February.
Okay, if no question on the February financials, which are tab 3 of your board book, board members, can I get a motion to approve posting the usual version of those?
A motion.
Thank you, Leslie. I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Recusals? Abstentions? Hearing none? All right. Thank you, Ken. On to March, yeah.
On to what? Oh, March, just same thing. Everything's straightforward. Any questions on the numbers? Anything?
Yeah, I just have a question. There's several journal entries for large sums of money and they're just labeled as journal. Are we able to drill down on what
Sure.
those went?
Tell me what.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just circle, like you could just do the top 3 highest ones if you.
The 34,377
Yeah.
is the payment for the, that's the monthly payment for the loan for the
Yeah,
building. So let's see here. Let me take a look 1 second. Just get into rent manager.
While he's looking, the audit, I'm working with Nick and Kirsten on the audit. Nick, we had answered all the questions, correct? Or did I miss something? We were talking about the questions the auditors had.
We did,
Okay, so we answered all those, correct?
yes. Ken.
Okay, hopefully we'll get the audit a lot sooner this year than last year.
Yeah, we did, and they had just sent the confirms on Friday, so, I guess we'll just be waiting for them to get the confirms back from the attorneys and the banks, so.
Okay, and also Nick and I were working on the late fees, bad debts, etc. And I'll be getting back on that now that April 15th is over. So Nick and I will be working on that for next month. We'll have a report then.
Should we circle back? I don't want to take your time up for working. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that and then just, you can run through that with me.
So you guys follow
Yeah,
each other.
yeah, sure, absolutely.
On a broad spectrum, how many loans do we have current right now?
All of our loans are current. How many
How many
loans do we
open?
currently have?
How many loans do we have open right now?
Just that we have the loan for the building, the construction loan.
Mhm.
We have the equipment financing for like the exercise equipment.
Okay,
And then we just have a credit card that we use monthly for our expenses.
The golf course gets paid. Paid it,
Paid off.
right off of it. Okay, very good, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions for Ken or Nick on the financials for March? And if there are none, could I get a motion to approve the usual posting?
Motion.
Thank you, Mark. I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Recusals and abstentions? Hearing none, that passes. Ken, anything else?
That's it.
Thank you, sir. We're gonna move on to the water company update. Mr. Brumbauer, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is.
Good morning, everybody. Not much to report on the water company front, from our, business aspect. We have not had our meeting. Our meeting is scheduled for the 20th of May. I can tell you that the water company is working towards resolving the capital project. I know Nick, is working on the Public Service Commission. Nick could probably provide some updates on where he stands with that. We did have a meeting with New York EFC on March 31st to talk about alternative measures with regards to financing for the project. Just to make sure that we touch on all of our bases, just as a potential financier, we could be seeing a significant reduction on our interest rate if we choose to move forward with that versus a traditional bank note. But that's where we stand right now, and we look forward to more updates in May.
Okay, board member questions for Dan?
Yes.
Mark?
The red flags that are out all over the community now that I'm seeing, is that because they're gonna fix the sewer system?
I believe that is to do with some work
So my
County
question-
Simpson is doing.
So my question to Dan would be, if they're gonna tear up the roads at their cost, and we have pipes that are laying near there, shouldn't we take a look at those pipes while the road is open at their cost and replace whatever aging pipes we have, since they're gonna assume the cost of fixing the road after it's done?
There is a surcharge in the event that they do damage one of our water lines as a result of digging for the sewer. So we are able to recoup the resources for that. We do not have a plan in place to replace water lines as they dig up because they don't always run parallel.
That's why I said the ones that do. So in other words, if they dig up, they don't break it, but we see that the pipes are aged at that point, wouldn't it behoove us to replace it now rather
So the
than
ta-
until it
so-
breaks?
So the town of Thompson doesn't have a plan in place for us to do that. If they're digging up for the sewer and we happen to have, something that requires immediate attention, we'll certainly revisit that. But in order for us to do something like that, we would have to be in the hole together, both of us working, and that's just not something that we have in place right now.
And you wouldn't wanna be replacing a water line at the same time as a sewer line, right? Like that's kind of a potential
Well,
disaster.
yeah,
waiting to
I mean,
happen.
that's a good point too, because that would probably trigger another boil advisory, so.
Can't have them mixing, right?
Well, no, obviously you wouldn't work while they're there.
Right.
But if it was already open and they're gonna pay for the road, why should we just save us some money, I thought?
Yeah, only thing is we don't necessarily have the capital right now to do those repairs simultaneously, but if they damage something, they fix the water line.
Okay.
If there's a break later on after a sewer line's been replaced, we do have a sewer replacement reserve fund for that. And we're in the process of reestablishing that line item. That would be a charge on the water bill, which used to be a $5 a month surcharge. And we're wrapping that process up with the PSC right now to be able to.
Just a thought to try to
It's a
save.
good thought. I wish we could. I wish they could go in, fix a sewer line, and we could go in and replace a water line. It's just, it's not practical, unfortunately, at the moment to have that. I agree with you.
Thanks, Mark. Other questions for Dan or anything, Nick, you might have?
Just to touch on Dan's point, we did have a meeting with the EFC. There is a potential for anywhere from a 0 to 4.2% loan available to us. Only caveat is it would be a prevailing wage project. So we have to weigh the equities of that. However, the term could be extended up to 30 years. In order for us to do that, we would have a loan application that would need to be submitted by May 19th. So we're looking into that process. But we'll be reporting that back to the water company board in the near term. So we're working kind of dual track with that and the Public Service Commission right now. We had 2 meetings with Public Service Commission in the last 3.5 weeks. So we are moving very quickly on both to try to get the project done. So we're keeping everyone apprised of those in the near term.
Will that trigger a need to come back to the POA board for approval of that financing?
I would think it would, but the the water company board would have to technically approve that application, and then we'd have first and then come to the POA, and if so, we'd ask for a special meeting of both boards.
Well, I'm just looking at the calendar. If you had the water company approve it at any point before the May 19th due date, we meet on the 17th.
We'd have to have special meetings of both boards in order to trigger an application.
Okay.
But we will
cross that bridge if it gets there.
Correct.
Okay.
It's not a guaranteed thing. It's preliminary right now. We're just doing our diligence.
Thanks, guys.
Can I jump back for 1 second, Patrick, just so we can close the loop on Alana's question? The large journals that Alana saw and rightly asked about was what those are, Alana. When our account does the sweep from the checking account to the cash management account, those journals are those sweeps. So when you saw the large ones, other than the 34,377, that's the Wayne payment. But those large items are the cash management sweeps that come out each day when they come from checking, when folks pay their dues into that account.
Got it, thank you.
Of course.
All right, on to our next topic, which are committee reports. The ad hoc asset of EGLL Water Company Committee, I don't think met. Lakes, no meeting, correct?
Lakes, no meeting, but I wanted to bring something up to the board that we had discussed in a prior meeting.
Go ahead.
That's the time. I have researched 5 different companies right now. I have not contacted them though. And that is for getting rid of the Phragmites, especially on Treasure Lake. 2 or 3 of the companies that I've looked at so far specialize in wetlands. Okay, and I'm gonna get bids from those companies to bring to the board. But is this something that the board wants me to pursue, getting rid of those Phragmites in Treasure Lake using a company?
I think.
It's not a vote, I just want.
No, I think we need a little bit more information on that and certainly bids and the cost. If you.
Well, I'm gonna bring that to the board.
Yeah, obviously,
yes.
if you can work with Nick and.
Yes, I've spoken to Nick about it.
Great.
Yes. And one other thing, we've had, and I've spoken to Nick about this also, we've had 5 3-foot-long carp floating around dead that were taken out of the lake recently. They're like 30 years old, these carp. Unfortunately, we can't get any more because the dam that was built too low, and these carp are not allowed to escape our lake, the triple Lloyd carp. So in order to fix that problem, there is a way out of it. We can put up something called carp bars along the dam. All right, so I'm going to look, what's.
I'm just like envisioning a carp prison because.
It's what it is, because they're not allowed to escape.
Even though they are genetically modified so they cannot reproduce, you still have to have a bar to contain them.
Right, and we're not talking
We're not
about.
having car towers at the water plant or anything like that.
Correct.
I mean, you could put up a
Man,
fence, you could put up a fence there too, a gate, but that would trap a lot of debris and would have to be cleaned all the time. There's the bars would allow the water to flow through and not capture any debris, unless it's like really big.
Right.
And this way, the DEC would then approve us getting a permit to put more carp in the water, because I think the carp is really essential to the health of the lake.
Cool.
So we're gonna pursue that also. I just wanted to mention that to the board.
Great.
And the last item is, we're already seeing algae on the lake. It's already starting to happen. Marcy and Brad sent me some pictures that they took this morning. And I'm going to meet with the people, like I've said before, down at Wolf Lake to see their operation. So I will be, and they use a company called Solutions. And they put in the bubblers into the water. And for people who have personal huge issues around their dock, there's something called an aqua thruster, which I will put out in case anybody wants to personally attach that to their own dock to keep that algae away from their own personal dock, other than the things that we can do as a community through the solutions.
Okay. Marcy, can you wait for the homeowner comments on a few? Yeah. All right, so any questions for Mark? Okay, we're cruising through, guys, so we're gonna be to Marcy at sort of just a few minutes. We have buildings and grounds and events, tabs 5 and 6 of the board books. You can see Ilana's read out our minutes from the meeting, but Ilana, you wanna give us some?
Sure, for buildings and grounds, we have three main things on the agenda: community beautification, the pool, and the community survey that's going out. Management has already been kind of working on these in conjunction with us. We talked about just adding some hanging baskets to all the entryways around, just to kind of add some color to the community. We wanted to, the recommendation from the committee was to manage whatever we put in with maintenance. Some of our stuff has died out over the years because of watering and things like that, but Nick has a good system in place for that. We offered suggestions for new plantings that died out around the pool, including catnip, dwarf grasses, and lavender and boxwoods. Our recommendation is to not invest in planters or benches that are made out of wood, but a more sustainable material. Rich Brown, I see you on the meeting. We discussed your email that you had sent to me with the starter packs. We didn't want to remove any plantings at the entryway. We also discussed that some of those starter packs included things that are eaten by the deer, like the black-eyed Susans when they're young. So we talked about possibly being additive over time as it related to staff availability to maintain those things, but not to pull anything out in order to start over again. We're gonna hold off on any plantings around this building until the blacktop was done. That project is coming up. There was mention about the signboards around the community at the dam, the pool on Piccadilly, that they should come down. They're kind of deteriorated and broke at this point, so management's working with staff to do that. The fence near the dam is being addressed. That was an insurance issue. Boat and kayak stickers are coming up. That was not a management report, but we got them. Okay, and then we talked offline a little bit about possibly building some better, more visually pleasing kayak storage over by the pool and not to be so high that we can't access it. Small bench, pool, Nick is going to address pool lane striping as etching issues are identified in the pool. So once that is being addressed, we'll take a look at possibly striping. We talked about the lap times for management's working on a process for that for the summer. Guest passes, there was no issues with large gatherings last year as identified. Usually staff does not issue large groups otherwise. And then there was we talked about, I guess, some issues with passes in the past, but you have taken about 700 offline, right? That
Yeah,
were
we
kind
had a
of
lot of
excessive ones.
excessive cards issued that kind of killed off in the system.
And then coming from the committee, there's been a big community survey to address kind of larger projects that are not currently mandated through the reserve study. So it's asking the community to kind of take a look at our playground spaces and possibly adding pavilion spaces and what would be their choice of what to kind of put additional funds towards or not to do that at all. So that was gonna get sent to the community and probably in the next upcoming weeks, or you have that survey to look at to see if you have any issues or concern. There is a link for you to look at that if you have any suggestions before we send that out. And last but not least, the greenway, there was a damage on the fence that's getting addressed. They have to stain that this summer, the fencing. And Nick and Jose are working on putting no trespassing signage and the annual reminder, no more rides.
Okay, one last thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, when we're doing the dam fence repair from the accidents, we're also gonna replace that chain link fence along the side where the kayaks and boats are, that green, because that's been damaged over time and also rolled up on the bottom and people look like they've gone underneath, so we're gonna replace that as well.
Okay.
Because we have some black fence up top that we're gonna put in there, so I just wanted to let everyone know that too.
Alex?
I just have a question. Do we have anything in plan for our younger kids?
The playground is in there.
Either a playground or, I'm looking at it this way. If it's raining
Mhm.
and you're here for the summer and you got these 4, 5, 6 years old that, with a lot of energy, what do we do with them?
You mean outside running around inside?
Yeah, exactly. Do we have a,
Let them play in the mud.
I'll send them over to your house.
Do you need more programming?
I'd be bored.
Do you need more well, we talked about ping pong tables. We haven't actually,
We haven't done the.
Yeah, we haven't gone back to the
I don't know if you
ping pong.
wanna give a 4-year-old.
no, I'm just saying,
Golf in it.
well, why don't you give me your ideas for the 4 and 5-year-olds? And
Yeah, and if it's a matter of programming in the entertainment, maybe that's a good space.
You will need volunteers or.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something,
Well, I'm sure that you can,
some
parents
type
will
of
volunteer, like that.
toddler camp or
At
something,
that
right?
point,
Yeah, you'd have to put all kinds of,
I mean, I was in Washington DC and they got these, indoor, I don't want to call it park, but it's not a park, it's just a indoor playground
Hmm.
where you pay.
Oh, I know what you're
It's
talking
there,
about.
and it's go wild, I mean,
trampolines and balls and all that stuff are fun. But they're like,
They have the mini golf set.
a lot of wonderful stuff.
The survey can be sent out to the community and see if there's a need for that here,
Yeah. Okay, any other questions on the buildings grounds report? If none, you wanna do events?
Sure.
And you can.
Events goal was to have the summer calendar out by the beginning of May, so we are finishing that up, just so everybody kind of knows what is on the dock. We were trying to alternatively plan for the July 4th weekend to have more events by the pool for those that have people visiting, since the fireworks will not be that weekend. We were looking into several food trucks that kind of came out that did not warrant a good feedback, but I think Anthony was following up with somebody else at the end of our last meeting, so we'll hear about that, but that will definitely be music and other things like face painters, magicians, possibly around the pool, just so there's some activities and events that weekend. And a survey for a flotilla parade on the water for July 4th will be going out as well to see if there's any interest in that. July 11th, which is when we are having the fireworks, we're also doing a larger weekend that weekend, music and pool. We're talking about when if a barbecue, if it's all contingent kind of on how planning comes out, but if the food trucks don't work out, then maybe we'll be doing something food related as well, or ice cream, or we're adding to that. Memorial Day, we're gonna do the s'mores event again, possibly with music this year. We discussed with management shifting needs just from committee to staff, so that would allow some more flexibility and some, increased opportunities to have more events this summer. July 18th, 19th, and 20th will be the community yard sale, if anybody wants to mark that off on their calendar, and we are looking to do our community cleanup on June 7th. Leslie, the Rock Hill Business Associate, you're doing your cleanup Saturday, so, right,
Yes.
Saturday at 9?
Yes,
So if anybody wants to volunteer, you're meeting over by
we usually meet at the,
the pizza place, right? Pizza the Rock? Or in
no,
Dutchess
we
now?
usually meet at the
what?
parking lot of 86.
Oh, okay, I-86.
Yes.
So if you want to participate in the Rock Hill cleanup, which is this Saturday, I-86 is where everybody's meeting at 9
Can you
o'clock.
send me info on that, Leslie? We'll put out a
Yeah.
blast
Yeah,
on it
absolutely.
too.
Management and grounds have been proactively cleaning up past the winter thaw around the community, but we're gonna be doing the community-wide cleanup that we usually do on the 7th, and Bethel Sanitation is helping us out with that. We discussed doing like for the end of the year or the end of the summer, pool closeout, which is usually the 13th, but we identified that that's Rosh Hashanah weekend as well, so we might pop it up the weekend before. A San Gennaro Italian themed potluck. We're doing monthly potlucks with different themes. Lee is gonna run the pickleball and tennis tournaments, as well as this year we might run a handball tournament.
could we look and see what would the cost be to have music every Saturday?
Yeah, you and I are performing.
Hey.
We discussed that. It was one of the reasons why the committee also wanted to go with not the larger scale fireworks, because it would free up some of the budget to provide some of those opportunities for the bands to come in on a more consistent basis.
And then a DJ.
Yeah.
That'd be fine,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
We actually looked at investing in the equipment, the the speakers and the soundboard, because we actually can do a lot of this ourselves.
Yeah.
Too, but yeah, definitely.
Right now, we have the first 2 weekends of July squared away with music. Bashiri's doing his drumming event at the end of July, so that's 3. And then the 4th weekend is the yard sale. So if we want music on top of that, we can always add that in. As now we have the
And the-
staff support.
I think, music, by the pool, on a weekend,
Yeah.
it's huge.
And the karaoke, the people love that
Mhm.
karaoke too, now that we have that set up.
Yes, karaoke can also move to the pool because we now have a setup to do that. Monthly potlucks will also be occurring. There's gonna be game nights. We're still working on the bingo logistics for the
We're
boardroom, which
almost
will be
there.
coming.
Yep.
We're gonna be looking into trivia again. Tai Chi classes might be coming this summer. There is a new yoga instructor
Met with her, yeah.
coming in with the help from Susan, transitioning with her, who's been our
I
long
think
time.
she was the new yoga instructor here
She was
Saturday.
here today.
Okay, great.
But can I just pitch you something? It's gonna be really tight in here, because over the summer, it's usually like 35 to 45 people.
Okay.
That's gonna be an issue.
Okay, we'll work on logistics on that.
How was the outdoor yoga?
I love outdoor yoga, but you can't, some people get too hot.
Yeah,
You know, so you'd have to do that like early in the morning, 10 o'clock.
My
is
wife
safe.
does the hot yoga.
People don't do well with the heat, unfortunately.
so if there was weather permitting, I don't know, let's talk about that offline a little bit to see.
Scoop is a factor.
Yeah.
Okay,
How about the cardio boxing?
you're gonna run a class now?
Well, I would do it, yeah.
Well, there was
After a
also
certain
interest in
age,
sending
you
out
need
a
to-
survey for other things. Tai Chi came up quite a bit, so if we want to add additional classes in as well, we can talk about that.
Just a local person here that everybody knows and, you know, she teaches that, she's got a class. at-
We're also looking into possible dance classes, or we used to have a Western night, maybe a caller to come in and have an event around that. Fishing tournaments are scheduled both for kids and adults we're working with the Lakes Committee. The adult fishing tournaments in June and the children's one, it will be July or August. We're
Probably
still-
August.
Probably August.
Yeah.
We're still kind of setting the date on that.
Would be like,
And look forward to the summer calendar coming up soon.
I was just gonna say, you said the end of May, you have it done?
Probably the beginning. That's our hope is beginning.
Any final questions for Alana? All right, thanks very much. Let's go to homeowner comments, questions. Marcy, you had your hand up earlier, so I promised I would recognize you on the algae blooms and whatever else.
I didn't get into that, but Alana, are we having water aerobics?
Yeah, water aerobics is always, yes.
We do not, yeah, I know you like personally sent me that survey about like playgrounds and stuff. We did get the other one,
What other one?
about the one you mentioned about what activities do you want?
We haven't sent it. I said we talked about it, but we're gonna send it. Yes, we're gonna send it out.
Yeah, thank you. So I want to echo the point that this is way too small for yoga already. We had like 19 or 20 people and it was not feasible. So we need a bigger space. And we'll go right to Lacey and I have a couple more thoughts. So
Can I just ask you a logistics question about yoga? Is she here and you're there?
So she was there, but with all this equipment here, that totally cuts off this area here. So I mean, logistically, she would have to be there for everybody to
these
see.
people can't see her when she's
Yeah.
there.
So that's
But
an
if
easy
she was
fix.
here
Yeah,
It would still be too small for horses.
and you're double stacking,
we're very
I was
close.
outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we, you know, we could do things where you twist and, sorry, your arms out. You're smacking people. It's just really not feasible. And that's about half of what we get in the summer.
would you be able to do it in the entertainment? Would you, have you ever tried that, or is that a bad idea? Is this a bad thing?
It would work fine. Everybody's got that.
Oh, with the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what we're
that
gonna
would be a feasible thing to try.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, people will be walking back and forth through the gym, but hopefully they get.
Walk the perimeter.
Yeah, I was thinking that would definitely work, because
I mean,
easy,
just over the summer, I mean, the
yeah,
rest of the year, this week's fine.
okay.
this isn't great for the rest of the year.
No, but if you're there, though, you could definitely get more people, yes, you can.
Okay, I'll talk offline. Okay, we'll talk offline about that, yes, okay.
Okay, so I just texted Mark this morning and he sent me something about that machine and I just briefly glanced at it, but the algae that we're seeing now that's really prevalent around the shoreline and rocks, especially where there are very green lawns right next to it and where we know that the roads drain in, and so everything that comes, you know, down from the road is in, that's where it's worse. It's not the surface algae at this point, it's the filamentous algae at the bottom. And so that the machine that Mark mentioned will not have any impact on that. And it does impact the drinking
Yeah.
water, it does, it,
They did the
there
first.
is a degree of toxicity
First
to
thing.
it from my own Googling. Our dog swims every day, and I just read just now that it could be toxic to dogs, so it's something that we need to be mindful of. I don't know how we should it. I think that would be helpful if we can do that, but there are other options. And then a couple other points that we had sent several emails about little things in the gym. So the rowing machine has been broken for a long time. The stationary bicycle in the center that's closest to the rowing machine, so just for logistics. What is it, the meters on it don't work. The pedals go around, but nothing registers. So that was the thing. We had suggested, and it's not as important now that it's summer, but where those like 4 or 5 little coat racks are, I think it would be super inexpensive, and I could even put them up with a screw gun, to put up a big row of hangers, coat hangers along that whole wall, and it would just do that in the garbage and the lights. But we could have a lot of room for coats, because in the winter it gets really full. We also had suggested that some gym etiquette rules be emailed to the community. I don't know if we can ask for a signature or not, but also if some people play loud music, they just so blasting, I'm getting nods here, blasting and blaring, that even with AirPods, which I wear, I can't even hear my own music because they're blasting it with complete disregard. I've spoken up a couple of times I've gotten real nasty responses. So if it's a rule, it's a rule. If it's posted, it's easier to get compliance. And then along with that, a rule that I know is common in every gym I've ever heard of or been to, where if somebody's waiting for a piece of equipment, there's a half-hour limit. Because I've been in where we had, there was one elliptical, and somebody was on it forever. And they just, it makes it easier to remind someone, hey, excuse me, but there's a rule posted for something. So I think just people need to know, and people aren't wiping off equipment at all, like they just aren't. And the wipes are there, and I think, reminders sent out, and then posted would be super.
So Marcy, just to, sorry to interrupt, we already have those rules. I guess maybe it's a matter of reminding folks that they exist.
Yeah, maybe an email and then post it on the wall so that when you're there, you can maybe without pushback saying, maybe there's a rule over there and, okay. So, yeah,
Okay, thanks.
thank you.
Great, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I live on Sierra Hills Court. I wanted to know if you could go into a little detail about the townhouse mailboxes.
Sure. We're working with the Wordsboro Post Office to come up with a design, and then they're gonna be installing a new, basically, we had a photograph. Let me see if I can pull it up. 1 second.
Maybe while Nick is locating that, can I go to Brenda online and then come back?
Sure.
Great. Brenda online, I see you have your hand up. If you could.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Kim.
Oh, perfect. I had a question. I have currently a major grievance going on. I'm at 12 Westville Court. My realtor and my lawyer is in consultation about my grievance with the person whose house is attached to mine. She's proposing things that goes against the bylaws, and it has been a nightmare for me. I've been here since 2006. She's been here since August of last year. What she's proposing is again against the bylaws, and I know why she's doing it. My lawyer will be in touch with the board. My thing is, I've never filed a grievance against anyone. I'm in the process of selling this home. I currently have a buyer for this home, which is the motive behind what she's trying to do. What steps do I initially take to ensure that the bylaws are upheld, a grievance is submitted, and to ensure that the person buying my home doesn't have to endure what I've endured with this person?
Can we
I
know
would say,
what the
go ahead,
grievance is? Can we know what the grievance is?
The grievance is, and I'm going to tell you how bad it is. She wants to put up a privacy wall in front of the house. The woman had the audacity to tell me that my house is on her property. She even had the audacity to call me when I'm in the city last week, recovering from pneumonia, flu, taking care of my mother, that basically the entire front of this house is her property. She's putting up a privacy wall for the betterment of her daughter.
So I would imagine that there would have been a permit for that. So if there
This
is if there's a permit, she would have had to have followed the rules. Nick, do you have a permit on this?
yeah, Dan, Nick stepped away from the table. So Brenda, to answer your question about what you can do, to the extent that, the management office has not been advised of whatever the problem is, make sure you do that. And then you mentioned that you have a lawyer who has a letter to send to the board. Obviously have that letter sent and then we'll review it. And, if it's something that involves a violation of the association's rules or covenants, we'll intercede in that way. If it's not, we'll tell you that too. Yeah, I without knowing more, and I don't want you, we're not gonna solve it right now.
Right.
We would really need to just dig into it a little bit more. So just have that stuff sent. Sounds like you're on that right path and we'll take a look at it and take it from there, okay?
Great. And I just don't want her to erect something because that is her goal.
Right. Sure.
And she already knows that I know the bylaws. She contacted your office. So I'm taking the necessary steps, but also I let my lawyer, I just didn't know if I needed to initiate the grievance first.
We don't necessarily have a quote grievance process, but I think it sounds like your attorney will know what to do.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions in the room? Yeah, Marcy.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but Brenda kind of brought it to mind. We've been communicating with the office for a long time regarding a neighbor who has erected a fence cemented in the post.
Okay.
Which is basically on our property line. I know Anthony has looked into it. As far as I know, we're at a stalemate. If there are bylaws, I mean, I'd like to know what is the process? Is there a fine? Is there a fine in gracefully? Like what happens when nothing changes?
We'll get Nick back in here on that question. Do you want to, sorry to make you repeat it, but
Yeah.
for Nick's benefit, he has certainly more information.
The neighbor and the fence. I think Anthony, I don't know, is Anthony Maneri still on the Zoom? Can he chime in? I know he's talked to you guys about it.
Well, I mean, we were at a stalemate now. Anthony said, well, maybe you should contact the town of Thompson. I don't think it's a town of Thompson matter. It does violate the bylaws of Emerald Green. I know it's a 15-foot setback which we have on our other side after consideration and discussion with our neighbors. This has, nothing has been done. It's been a long, long time. He's cemented in the post. It really interferes with our caretaking of our yard. It's hideous. And I'd like to know what is being done, what can be done. If he's not removing it after being notified, is there a fine? What is that? And does it accrue over time?
Well, we can't talk about specific
Well, I mean, general
violations.
bylaws, like what is the rule for Emerald Green? For not naming a person or a property.
Just to well, be clear, it's not really the bylaws, the building code.
Building.
Yeah, I know Anthony was handling it. I'm not sure if he's still on the Zoom, so.
Anthony pretty much said call the town of Thompson and it sounded like the end and I re-answered him.
Sounds like not a board level issue yet, and it's something that management can circle back with you on. Go back.
Yeah. Did he?
I'll circle back with you tomorrow on it, right, Marcy? Directly, you got it.
Okay, any other questions in the room? Anybody else online? Use the raise hand feature or even just unmute and go ahead and ask if you have any questions.
I have just quick follow-up on Marcy's comment about the gym equipment. Don't we have a maintenance agreement with the,
On,
like a
we have
ongoing
them come in for service.
service agreement? That's what I meant to say now.
The rowing machine, I know we had ordered a belt for it because when they had priced out the belt, it was going to be something astronomical. That rowing machine is pretty old and I know the first belt came in and it was the wrong one. But that rowing machine is probably at the end of its useful life, so we may want to think about buying a new one. In terms of the bike, I have to look at that because I thought they came and fixed that.
Yeah, how often are they coming in under the,
They come in as needed,
Oh.
on certain repairs, but on the newer equipment, there's a monthly service on that. So the stuff that's under contract monthly, other items, it's as we call them and say, we need service on it. So,
okay,
in terms of the code hooks, I know there was an ask for that. And certainly now we're past code hook season, hopefully, but, we'll follow up on
so
those
homeowners
items.
within a month should expect, like if they see an issue, then it's getting addressed by the service agreement.
Correct, correct.
Okay. No problem.
But again, it's, it's always helpful too, if something didn't get followed up on, just pop in when they're here talking to Val,
And just
usually
Another
times a week to tell her.
clarifying thing, and I don't move the meeting along. Both of those instances that got brought up were about homeowners being concerned with projects that may move forward without proper approvals. And I believe we previously discussed this, which is what if a homeowner does something that, and there was a memo that was sent out, correct, about doing work that can't be undone essentially?
Correct,
Okay, that might be helpful for people to know.
yes,
Okay,
yeah, so, and I gotta
okay,
jump back 3 steps, because I need the board to do something for me
okay.
quickly. I'd like to ask the board to make a resolution to, send that, we need to have a memorializing resolution to send to the Wirtsboro Post Office to allow the homeowners in the townhouses to install mailboxes in front of their homes.
Did we approve this before and it's just a matter of,
I'm not sure if we did, but if we
Right.
could just do it.
for the sake of good order, why don't we do it now, since we have a quorum? All right, I'll make the motion as Nick just described. Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Anybody have any questions or?
Can you expand on that, putting mailboxes in front of their homes is,
We were apparently the homeowners, would like to put mailboxes in front of their homes, and the Wirtsboro Post Office is telling them in order to do so that the POA board needs to authorize them to do so. And to remove the community mailboxes,
so
which
this will,
stop the issue and not make us responsible for the installation of community mailboxes.
okay,
And
I
make
think
it more secure.
that might be because of the property itself and the conjoining units. And then where you would put the mailboxes on the property, so might be a little more to it than.
Yeah, well, I know how to fix this problem for all of us, so if we can just.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think if we go with that, as long as all the mailboxes look the same, would be the only way that I would.
I think that's the design, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, that is the design that's currently under consideration. This is just to formally memorialize for the government, or rather for the post office, that we're on board with this. Anybody else have questions or debate on the motion? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor? Aye.
Who motion, I'm sorry?
I did.
You did.
I don't even remember who seconded, but.
Yeah.
I second.
Mark seconded.
I
Great.
second.
Any opposed? Any recusals? Any abstentions? Hearing none, that passes. And we'll do a written resolution to that effect. Okay,
Thank you.
now 3 steps forward to,
Just to remind homeowners that if somebody proceeds with doing work on their property that wasn't approved via a permit, that required a permit,
Correct. So, and it can't be undone.
and it can't be undone.
It becomes a challenge for us. And by the way, Anthony is texting me, he's just in the middle of something. So the issue here in the case of the fence specifically here, there was a fence there. They replaced the fence that was already there.
Not true. Not true at all.
okay,
We don't have to talk about specifics. I just want
Yeah.
homeowners to, there is something in place for that.
There is.
Okay.
And we have procedures and we have policies to deal with these situations, and I'll address this issue specifically offline. And we have mechanisms to address it. And we remind folks that if you're going to do work, submit an application to the office for review. And in the case of the situation that the other homeowner spoke about, we are aware of a situation that they're asking for approval for something. We have not granted any approvals in that other case yet. They did make a request to the office, but we have not granted any approvals in that case either. So we are trying to be very diligent. On Friday, we actually issued 3 stop work orders for work in progress, 2 of which came in and remedied their situations. But we can only be in one place at one time, sometimes 2 places at one time, but we're trying our best to stay on top of situations and deal with real emergencies that occur as well. So.
Okay.
Thank you for being mindful of that.
okay, with that, yes, Linda.
I'm just gonna ask, does any of the management staff periodically go through the neighborhoods and look for violations?
We do, that's how we find things.
Unregistered car, cause it seems like there's a lot of, neighbors complaining about somebody else, but there's unregistered cars or people leaving their trash cans on the streets all the time, boats parked. Yeah,
We do, and that's how we find things and issue things like stop work orders and violations for cars and. Yes.
Okay.
Some are exigent circumstances, some are situations that we have to deal with, and boats right now are things that we deal with. We've talked about campers, we've talked about RVs, we have to have some level of flexibility too, because remember, we're a community and we don't want to hit people with hammers too hard. So.
All right, with that, we close the member of homeowner comments and questions. Our next regular board meeting is Sunday, May 17th. Same time and place, so look forward to seeing everybody then. Board members, hang on, we have a reasonably short executive session. So those who are online, not board members, if you log off, thanks very much. Thanks to those in the room who joined us as well. We'll see you next time, dear.
And they're building.
Executive session is gonna be short, because
Yeah, very
I want to travel to the funeral.
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
Yeah, I have
like
like
10 minutes, I think.
10 more minutes, because I have to bring my dog, but
Okay.
it is not good.
We do have things on here.
We do.
That is a speaking for me.
I know, yeah.
And